Welcome to our Trump Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into some intense weather news as torrential rains and flash floods are wreaking havoc across the central U.S. With severe storms leading to fatalities and widespread damage, officials are urging residents to stay safe and avoid unnecessary travel. The situation is dire, especially in Kentucky and Tennessee, where communities are bracing for more rainfall. In political news, President Trump is gearing up for a crucial meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, focusing on the ongoing conflict in Gaza. As Israel intensifies its military operations, this meeting could have significant implications for both nations. With Netanyahu facing criticism at home, the stakes are high as they discuss strategies and economic commitments. Lastly, New York public schools are making headlines for standing their ground against the Trump administration's attempts to end diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. Despite threats of federal funding cuts, state officials argue that DEI principles are essential and legally sound. This bold move highlights the ongoing tension between state and federal education policies. Please stay tuned for more details. The Toronto Star reports that the central United States is bracing for another wave of torrential rain and flash flooding, exacerbating the already dire situation caused by a series of severe storms that have left many areas waterlogged. States like Missouri, Texas, and Arkansas are under flash flood emergencies, with the National Weather Service predicting that 45 river locations could reach major flood stages, threatening homes and critical infrastructure. The aftermath of tornadoes has also been devastating, with entire neighborhoods destroyed and at least 7 fatalities reported. In Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where the Little River had turned downtown into a lake, officials are preparing for more rain and potential flooding, urging residents to fill sandbags as they brace for the worst. In another report from the Toronto Star, President Trump is set to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to discuss the ongoing conflict in Gaza and new tariffs imposed by the U.S. The situation in Gaza remains tense as Israel intensifies its military operations against Hamas, with reports of significant casualties on both sides. The meeting comes amid growing pressure on Netanyahu from both the Israeli public and international observers regarding the handling of the war and the fate of hostages taken by Hamas. As the conflict escalates, the U.S. administration has been supportive of Israel's actions, while also facing criticism for its stance on the humanitarian crisis unfolding in the region. Finally, the Toronto Star highlights New York State's firm stance against the Trump administration's recent demands to end diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) practices in public schools. State officials have declared their intention not to comply, arguing that the federal government lacks the authority to impose such restrictions and that DEI principles are not in violation of any laws. This pushback comes in response to threats of federal funding cuts, particularly affecting Title I funding aimed at low-income schools. The state's education department emphasizes its ongoing compliance with civil rights laws and criticizes the abrupt shift in policy from the previous administration, reflecting a broader national debate over educational equity and federal oversight. Deutsche Welle reports that President Donald Trump's recent imposition of tariffs on imports from 185 countries notably excludes Russia and Belarus, raising questions about the rationale behind this decision. Despite the ongoing sanctions against Russia due to its invasion of Ukraine, which have significantly reduced trade from approximately $36 billion in 2021 to about $3.5 billion in 2024, the U.S. continues to import strategic goods from Russia, such as fertilizers and chemicals. Political experts suggest that Trump's omission of Russia from the tariff list may indicate a desire to maintain open diplomatic channels, as evidenced by comments from Russian officials highlighting ongoing dialogue. This political maneuvering appears to lack economic logic, especially since countries with similar or lower trade volumes, like Kazakhstan and Ukraine, are facing substantial tariffs. Yahoo US highlights the excitement and anticipation surrounding former President Barack Obama's visit to Hamilton College, where he engaged with students and faculty in a moderated discussion format rather than delivering a traditional speech. Obama emphasized the importance of liberal arts education in an increasingly automated world, arguing that human skills such as storytelling and empathy cannot be replicated by machines. The event drew a crowd of over 5,400 attendees, with many expressing their admiration for Obama and the significance of his insights during these tumultuous political times. Students shared their hopes for the discussion topics, ranging from higher education challenges to healthcare, reflecting a deep interest in the former president's perspectives on current issues. Yahoo US also covers a large-scale protest in Green Bay, Wisconsin, organized under the Hands Off banner, which is part of a nationwide movement against policies enacted during Trump's second term. With over 1,200 protests planned across the country, local activists in Green Bay expect a turnout exceeding 500 demonstrators. The protests are fueled by concerns over what organizers describe as an authoritarian power grab, particularly criticizing the influence of billionaire Elon Musk in the Trump administration. The Green Bay event will feature speeches, music, and community activities, aiming to unite voices against perceived government overreach and advocate for the rights of ordinary Americans. Nikkei Asia reports that Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is eager to engage in a telephone conversation with U.S. President Donald Trump as early as next week to discuss U.S. tariff policies. Ishiba emphasized the importance of direct negotiations, particularly in light of Trump's recent announcement of a reciprocal tariff of 24% on Japan, which is significantly higher than the previously established baseline. The Japanese government is preparing a cohesive package of measures to present during these discussions, aiming to foster cooperation that aligns with Trump's goal of revitalizing American manufacturing. Ishiba expressed concerns about the potential repercussions of retaliatory tariffs, highlighting the need for logical and constructive dialogue. The South China Morning Post highlights a wave of protests organized against President Trump and his administration, with approximately 1,200 demonstrations planned across the U.S. The protests coincide with similar gatherings of anti-Trump Americans in major European cities, where demonstrators voiced their discontent with Trump's policies. Activists, including those from various progressive organizations, are rallying to send a clear message against Trump's agenda, which many perceive as a threat to democracy and social justice. The protests, which are expected to be significant, are also a response to Trump's executive orders that critics argue overstep his authority and undermine civil rights. Yahoo US shares that Yosemite and Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks have been recognized as some of the top national parks in the United States by Lonely Planet. These parks are celebrated for their breathtaking landscapes and iconic natural features, attracting millions of visitors each year. Amidst federal workforce cuts affecting the National Park Service, efforts are underway to enhance visitor experiences, including the reopening of the Crystal Cave for tours. For those looking to explore these natural wonders, the article outlines upcoming free entrance days, allowing visitors to enjoy the beauty of these parks without the usual fees, making it an opportune time to experience the splendor of California's national treasures. Yahoo US reports that the Trump administration's recent health cuts have led to the closure of New York City's federal Head Start office, resulting in staff layoffs and raising concerns among preschool leaders about the future of childcare for low-income families. The abrupt decision to close half of the agency's regional offices, including the crucial New York headquarters, has left providers like Angela Terry, executive director of the Bedford-Stuyvesant Early Childhood Development Center, in a state of uncertainty about accessing vital support for their programs. Terry, who was set to connect with a regional staffer on the day of the layoffs, expressed the challenges faced by programs that have been historically affected by federal policy changes. Head Start, a program launched over 60 years ago to combat poverty by supporting early childhood development, has been struggling with funding access and operational challenges due to these federal shifts. Advocates, including Susan Stamler of the United Neighborhood Houses, warn that these cuts threaten vital childcare access and undermine the essential services needed for children's development. Despite assurances from federal officials that services will remain unaffected, the restructuring has left many providers skeptical, emphasizing the importance of skilled support in navigating the complexities of their programs. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Morning coffee, fresh off the press. Reading headlines, feeling blessed. World keeps turning, stories unfold. Every moment news gets told. got to know. Never stopping, always go. Scrolling, swiping, reading on. Daylight breaks in the dawn. Headlines and headlines, can't get enough.